This is very interesting, very very interesting. But I felt like I should just share this to you, my dear, wonderful brothers and sisters. And a lot of things are going on in the world today. A lot of things, and there are so many voices that are actually moving around and all that stuff. And that is why, as I was just going through my normal days, I came across this very interesting video. This very interesting video that people are really so much possessed about, Donald J. Trump. That when you go even into churches around different areas, that is so to speak in Africa, you'll find every preacher has a certain sermon, talking about Donald J. Trump. This is one thing that also shows that a lot of African countries are kind of like they feel like if Donald Trump takes over power in the US, some of these countries will be actually relieved of some of the things that they've been actually subjected to of late. I don't know about this, but that is how they feel. And today, I wanted just to share with you something that is so unique, a little bit unique. Personally, I may not actually agree with this person, but what he says, I wanted just you to analyze what he's actually saying, and try to look at what actually he has to say. Because as for us, that anything virtuous, praiseworthy, or anything that is good, we seek after these things. And this is somebody that is actually using the scriptures to, argue his case relative to the political status of President Trump. And sometimes back he had predicted the assassination of Trump in one of his sermons. That was 2 months ago, before even this sad incident that actually happened. He had predicted that about people trying to actually, assassinate one of the main guys, President Donald J. Trump. And this is something that this guy, he spoke about it 2 months ago. He predicted about this 2 months ago. And it so happened recently. And this is very sad. It's very sad because it is something that shook the whole world, because everybody is now following what exactly is happening in America and all that. And one thing I want to say is that I am not actually pro-political. I just want to bring about spiritual and scriptural emphasis and symbolism towards what exactly is happening. And I think most Americans may not actually know this, but when you look at the prophecies of both in the Book of Mormon and in the Bible, there is actually a relevance between the American state, okay, the American, the United States of America, and what exactly is happening in the land of Judah, that is Israel. So there is that relevance. And I'm sure for those who've read in the book of Genesis chapter 49, relative to the blessings that Jacob gave to his children, the prophets have actually cleared this thing, and they've taught these things openly. And President Joseph Smith actually illustrated these things very clear. And that is why whatever happens in America, as Latter-day Saints, we pay much attention. And whatever happens in Israel, we also pay much attention, because that one is actually symbolic to our spiritual well-being. And also it's kind of a radar to show us how the world is actually moving. Okay, show us how the world is actually moving. And that's why as a Latter-day Saints, I may not actually be very blind on what exactly is happening relative to what other people are saying outside there, because even the prophet Joseph Smith illustrated these things very well, and he taught them very well. And he said that these two nations are actually of a great importance in this world. Okay? And as a prophecy that was given by Prophet Micah, that he prophesied that there is Zion and there is Jerusalem. And in the millennium, we know God will have, or Jesus Christ is going to have, two capital cities in two specific countries, which are fully revealed to the Latter-day Saints. We know what exactly is happening. And that's why whatever is happening now in the US, you'll find all of African countries are actually paying attention. They are looking at that. And more so also, we as Latter-day Saints in other countries, we are paying attention to what exactly is happening in the US and in Israel. And that's why this is something so unique. And I came across this clip. Okay, I may not actually agree doctrinally with this guy, but just listen to what he has to say as you strive forth even to make conclusions, and as you prayerfully think about these things. And I think the Lord will actually teach you something here. And the Spirit of God will teach you something here. And without further ado, let me just invite you so that we can listen to what this preacher, who calls himself Prophet Hubert Angel, he's a minister of a certain church in Zimbabwe. I think he comes from Zimbabwe. That is where he comes from. That is his nationality. And as I'm told that he had predicted the assassination of President Trump, and he's also now explaining why Trump lost the first elections. I think his second election, why he lost his second term to Joe Biden. Without further ado, please take time just to listen to what this man has to say. Please welcome.
Show you something. Donald means ruler.
Ruler.
Yes. It's called Donald John Trump. John means what? The voice. The one that is preparing the way for the coming of the Lord.
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't know if they're getting this.
We're getting.
It also means the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah, exactly. The word trump means the bridge, or rather the trumpet.
Trumpet.
The last trump shall sound. So he's the ruler who will become the forerunner of the world and sound the trumpet.
The trumpet. Wow.
And if you want to use a trump as a bridge, he's still the bridge. He is the ruler who is going to be what? The forerunner of the Lord and become a bridge. This is the reason why during the Trump administration, there was never a war.
Yes. Very true. Wow.
Our brother came in,
Yes.
war.
Yes.
Biden comes in, war. Trump comes in, stops the war.
No war.
Because it's the bridge. So he's telling you that what is going to happen when I'm about to come back is what was happening during the time of Noah. And we spoke, of course, of the Nephilim, and we are now speaking of the presidents that are coming in, and we dealt with Jehu. The issue of Jehu was different. He was a man who took over from Joram, from Jezebel, all this. He took over from there, but he changed their nation, but he himself didn't change completely towards God. So the problem of Trump is not that God didn't want him to rule. No. He didn't completely go for God himself. He championed ways by which Christians could ever say, but at the same time, he himself. You understand, you can be too busy working for God and not work on yourself with God. So what I'm trying to say is, what Donald Trump was doing was brilliant. He brought the church to the forefront. He respected marriages. He respected all these other things. But he himself had gray areas. So God is not just for you to protect Donald Trump because he sent him. No. He also wants him to worship him.
Wow.
This is the problem. That's why it ended. So you have 777, which is Jesus Christ. Of course, you have got all biblical numerology going in and stuff like that. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Now, that means 777 is Christ. 7 is the number of Jesus. Is the number of what? Infinite. It means the one who is perfect. That's why Jesus said, if you are forgiving, forgive your brother 7 times.
7.
And I've got 7,000 prophets or 700 prophets that have narrowed down to me. That means many. All right? It is the number of what? Of perfection in the Bible. Maybe you want to show them that part. If you believe Google more than preachers. Now here it is, according to what? To the American publication, the Orthodox Study Bible 77 represents the threefold perfection of the Trinity. Are you getting this?
Yes,
all right, let's come back to something that I want to show you. I want to start from number 1. Trump was born on the June 14, which is of course a number divisible by 7. They didn't get it.
Yes, sir. A number
Did you just hear that?
14 is divisible by 7.
Exactly.
Twice. Yeah.
Which was exactly 700 days later when Israel was reborn as a nation on May 14, 1948. But they didn't get it.
Wow.
Trump's first day in office, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. 777. Are you still here or you just went home? He was also inaugurated in the Hebrew year 5777. And he beat Hillary Clinton by 77 electoral votes. Because 7 electors defected. No, they're still not getting what I'm trying to say. Exactly 7 months after Trump's first full day in office. Are you getting this? There was a total solar eclipse over U.S. continent, a part that was exclusively in the U.S. and that was not happened since 1776, the year recognizing the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Why am I making that possible? Joel 2 verse number 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. And the sun shall be turned into darkness, solar eclipse, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord, before the rapture. I will do this. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Trump's birthday is June 14, 1946. Occurred also on the blood moon. Did you not say I will turn the moon blood? And
It's there.
maybe some people are not getting this.
Yes, it's clear and Joel.
Midpoint of his term, January 20, 2019. Middle, dead middle. That's when he said, I'm putting this sign here. Interestingly, Forbes magazine ranked Trump the 777 richest person in the world that time. 777. No, they didn't get it.
Wow.
President Trump was elected. Are you getting this? The same day. Benjamin, now 7th year, 7th month, and 7th day in office. 777. We are looking at Israel and looking at America at the same time. Using the 777 we have found in the Bible is actually the number of perfection, the number of God.
Wow. Daniel 12, verse number 12.
I want you to look at this clearly.
Blessed is ye that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days.
Now here it is. July 4, 2020, right? Was exactly 1,335 days. Are you getting? Since Trump was elected president. And that was the Independence Day. No, you didn't get it.
Wow.
Maybe read it again because you're not getting it.
Daniel 12, verse number 12. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days.
That is 1,335 days. Exactly.
Wow.
Isaiah 5:20. I want to, Pastor Felix, read it.
Who unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
Saying there is a time that will come. This is the time. When you see that time, you realize this is what is happening. The time when people shall call good evil, and evil good. Have you ever done a consumer report of Biden and Trump? And try to figure out who is the best here. No, listen, I'm not saying be Democrat or be biased like Hubert Angel or anything like that.
Yes.
Just think. It's not illegal yet to think. They are working on it. But for now, it's not illegal. Just think. To think anybody would vote for Biden is surprising. It's amazing.
It's shocking.
It's really shocking. Half of the time he doesn't know where he is. Recently he was campaigning, he said, I know you are going to vote me back into Congress. He forgot he was being voted for president.
Wow.
It's amazing. Absolutely shocking.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
He doesn't know whether he's walking, or sometimes he goes this direction and then they tell him stand this side.
Yes.
At one time he was even led by a blind man.
Yet he's ruling the country.
This is not a lie. He was going the wrong direction. A blind man grabbed him with his walking stick like this. Went with him to where he was supposed to stand. He went and stood at the end of the line, facing that direction, and people are facing this direction. The ones he was supposed to talk to. Just last week, he was standing there and he asked the people that his people that he was with, he said, should I be asked questions? He's asking them, today is it okay? Is my body and hearing okay for me to be asked questions?
Oh, wow. Get someone who fought for.
He said, you are not black if you don't vote for me. It means, according to him, black people are so stupid that they just need to vote for whosoever they are told to vote for. And it's okay.
Wow.
I don't know if they're getting this.
They're getting it, sir. They're getting it.
Who is attacked of being called a liar, being called a lie? It's Trump.
Trump.
He said the days are coming when evil shall be called good and good shall be called evil.
So my dear brothers and sisters, that was one of the preacher man in Zimbabwe that he was trying to, speak about why President Trump actually lost his second election, and the way he's putting it as if it was prophetic. But when you listen to the entire sermon, you will realize that he's speaking as to how Trump was going actually to be re-elected back, and this time round it will be actually very massive, because it is the Lord that is actually has planned that. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because to bring to an attention that the most significant thing that is happening in the world today, and whatever is happening to America or Israel, that one has a greater impact in the entire world today. That's why you see a lot of African countries are actually focusing on American election. They want to see who is actually in power. And from what it is going on, and from what you can attest there, that most African countries are actually hoping that Trump will take over, so that some of the policies that the current regime had implemented were fully affecting Africans and African nations as much as possible. Now, that one aside, it is just an indication for us to know that there is a greater significance between these two nations relative to what the prophet Joseph Smith taught. And Joseph Smith taught very well, and he said that when you read in the book of Genesis chapter 49, when Israel was actually giving his blessings to his children, there are two significant blessings that actually are very significant in the entire world. Okay, and these are the blessings that Judah received and the blessings that Joseph received. And it is actually vindicated very well from the Book of Mormon. When you speak of the land of Joseph, it will tell you very well, because there is a prophet there called Lehi who is actually revealing and identifying himself as actually from a seed. He is actually a descendant of Joseph, who was the son of Jacob, who was actually sold into Egypt by his brothers. And Lehi is being moved all the way from Jerusalem to a foreign land, whereby the scripture says that he was taken to the promised land. That is what the Lord had actually, promised him, that he was taking them back to the promised land, in a land where the Lord will show him, which is also called the land of Joseph. Now, when you also read from the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33, when Moses is also blessing different lands that will be inherited by the children of Israel when he gave a blessing that the land of Joseph, that land that Joseph was going to actually, he's going actually to inherit. Now, one of the most significant thing there, Moses is saying that the land of Joseph is the land of everlasting hills. That is when you read in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33, okay? It is the land of everlasting hills. And the prophet Joseph Smith is explaining to us very well what everlasting hills is. And he said, everlasting hills, these are actually the Rocky Mountains that were connecting both the continent of North and South America. And the reason as to why Moses referred to them as everlasting, because they are actually a mountains or hills that when you stand on the other side of the continent, you will never actually see the end of it all, because it goes as far as and goes and goes and goes. And that is what Moses was saying in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33. And this is the Bible. This is the Bible. These are things that are actually in the Bible. You know, these are things that are actually in the Bible. And this is why, my dear brothers and sisters, you need to understand that America is actually a sacred land. Very, very sacred. And it is a land that is so dear to the children of God, and also it's so dear to the entire world. Because whatever activity that is happening in that land, the entire world is actually focused. They want to see what exactly is happening. And every president that has been actually called in that land, they are actually prophetic and biblical. For those who are good Bible scholars, you will know. People like Biden did not just come there out of accident. There is a reason as to why they were placed there. People like Bush, there was a reason they were placed there. And when you read from the Bible, you will see all these prophecies coming to pass, and they are being revealed, including our own brother and cousin from Kenya, Barack Obama. He was actually predicted. These are things that were revealed in the Bible. Okay? And that is why I'm taking this opportunity to share with you what this gentleman is saying. Okay? What this gentleman is saying. And remember the articles of faith. Okay? That anything that is praiseworthy, anything that is good, anything that is knowledgeable, anything that is virtuous, we seek after these things. And there are some of the relative things that he was speaking there that were kind of like making sense relative to the scriptures that he was quoting, because that is what the prophet Joseph Smith taught. That is what the prophet Joseph Smith taught. I may not agree with some of the doctrines that he is actually, standing for. I may not agree. But something that is spiritual, something that is virtuous, something that actually scriptural, that one the prophets have always counseled with us, that we seek after these things, and we need also to follow what the Spirit of God is actually revealing to us. And this is what he's saying, and I don't know how you will take it, but this is what he's saying. He says Trump is actually going to be a bridge between America and other nations. That is what he says. And America will only be at peace when actually Trump is elected. I'm not advocating for Trump in this political season, and especially for those who are supporters of Trump and those who are supporters of the other President Biden. Actually sustain you, and I respect your choices and your political stance, but I am just a neutral human being who has come just to speak my mind relative to what the scriptures are actually saying. And this is it. And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to go the way you want it. But this is what the scriptures are saying, and are relative to what even the prophets have taught. Because I'm a good student of the scriptures, and I'm a good student of the discourses of the prophet Joseph Smith. And I've read, and relative to what this brother here is saying, it is actually concurring with what the prophet actually taught in some years back. What the prophets taught in some years back. And that is it. And I think this is what it is. And this, the same guy 2 months ago, he actually predicted the assassination of President Trump. I think I've mentioned that. There is a clip that he gave out, and it went very viral all over Africa. I don't know how Europe, and I'm told also even in Europe, that clip went viral, that he predicted the assassination of President Trump 2 months ago. And it's all evident. All of you can actually attest to it, that it so happened. And such a like things, when they happen, or things like this one when they happen, the testimony of a Latter-day Saint is actually strengthened more and more, knowing that we have a living Heavenly Father who actually honors His word and He loves His children. And remember one thing, God is no respect of persons. He can speak to anyone and He will bring to pass His purposes to His children, irrespective of who the messenger is, but He will bring His purposes to His children. And that is the beauty about it. If you can remember, in the Bible also there was a prophet called Balaam who used to prophesy and who used to actually follow what the Lord was saying. But Balaam was not fully an Israelite, but he used to prophesy. He used to prophesy and do all these things, and his prophecies used to come to pass. But at one time he compromised, and when he compromised, an angel appeared to him, and he was not able even to see an angel. But the donkey was able to see an angel because he was actually riding on a donkey. And that donkey saw an angel, and the donkey spoke. But Balaam, who was a prophet, was not able to see that angel. And then that was the end of Balaam. So whatever, anything good that comes from anywhere, we should not actually be quick to judge, but ours is just to ensure that we pray about these things, because the prophet Joseph Smith actually cautioned us of so many things. And I know if we follow what the Spirit will always guide us, then we shall not actually be led astray. Otherwise, thank you very much. God bless you, and see you next time.